Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this is a story straight out of San Francisco, which has had all kinds of chaos and disruption. And this is a cautionary tale about what is a friend or a foe, and who do you let inside your inner circle. Also has to deal with the opioid crisis. And no matter how rich and famous you are, there are some parallels that can permeate and penetrate and get to your doorstep, no matter where you live, where you are, how big your house is, how much money you have in the bank, gun violence, the opioid crisis, people with mental health issues can be right at your doorstep. And this is why I talk about these things all the time in my videos. We can't turn a blind eye, because just when you think that you're out of reach and out of touch from these crises that are taking place, they can be right there knocking at your door. And trust and believe that the unbelievable will become believable and the unforeseen will be seen. So let's get into it. This is about the Cash App founder. And many of us know what Cash App is. Many people utilize that tool. There are tons of apps out today. Technology is moving at a very accelerated rate, and we're headed towards a cashless society. But let's talk about the demise of the Cash App founder, Bob Lee, that is entailed and entangled around a brother and a sister that allegedly were involved in his death and possible drugs involved. So let's go. This is a Cash App founder. Cash App founder Bob Lee was stabbed to death after argument about the suspect's sister, court documents show. Cash App founder Bob Lee was fatally stabbed by an IT consultant near downtown San Francisco after the two men, who police say knew each other, friend or foe, got into an argument over the suspect's sister, according to court documents obtained by NBC News. The suspect, 38-year-old Nima Momeni of Emeryville, a suburb of San Francisco, drove Lee to a secluded area and stabbed him 3 times with a 4-inch kitchen knife, including twice in the chest, according to the documents. At least one of the stab wounds punctured Lee's heart. At one point, Momeni's sister sent a text message to Lee, the document shows, saying, "Just want to make sure you're doing okay, because Nima came way down hard on you," she wrote, according to the documents. "Thank you for being such a classy man, handling it with class," she added. "Love you, selfish pricks." So those two, her brother, Nima Momeni, and Mr. Lee evidently had an argument, and she was aware of it. So it also says that Momeni was arrested on a Thursday morning after a 9-day manhunt that attracted national attention and intensified scrutiny on public safety issues in the Bay Area. Now, you all who have been following me, I've been talking about public safety as being one of the top perils that is harming our society, our cities, and our states. Public safety. And San Francisco is being decimated with all kinds of issues: assaults, looting, theft, stealing, murder, the opioid crisis, homelessness, many people walking around with mental health issues, untreated and undiagnosed, and San Francisco is looking like a third world country. It goes on to say he will be charged with murder, San Francisco's district attorney told reporters recently. He was scheduled to be arraigned, so this happened about a year ago. He was arraigned on April 25th, a spokesman for the district attorney's office confirmed, and he faces 26 years to life behind bars if convicted. This is Mo Meany. The court documents, which the San Francisco District Attorney's Office filed as part of its attempt to detain the suspect without bail, piece together the incidents or the events that led to the stabbing. So this was happening. Lee and a friend interviewed by police had been hanging out in a hotel room in San Francisco on the evening of April 3rd. Prosecutors said in the documents, the friend identified in the filings as witness 1 noticed Lee having a conversation with Mo Meany. The witness heard Mo Meany asking Lee whether Mo Meany's sister had been doing drugs or anything inappropriate earlier that day with Mr. Lee. Lee had to reassure Mo Meany that nothing inappropriate had happened. Later that night, a surveillance camera recorded Lee and Mo Meany getting into Mo Meany's white BMW outside his sister's apartment. Now, his sister is encapsulated all throughout this story. Additional footage obtained by police show the BMW heading to a dark and secluded area near downtown San Francisco. The two men are later seen standing together on a sidewalk for a few minutes before Mo Meany apparently stabs Lee out of nowhere. Mo Meany then tossed the knife, got back in his car, and sped away. When police officers arrived at the scene around 2:30 in the morning, of course, remember what our parents and our grandparents said, nothing good happens after 12 a.m. midnight. According to the documents, they found Lee unresponsive, lying in the street and bleeding uncontrollably. When officers returned to canvass the area, they found the blood-stained knife. Defendant did not use some type of pocket knife, but a cooking knife from an apartment and kitchen, the document states. That was a planned and deliberate attack. The revelation that Lee and Mo Meany knew each other has undercut speculation that the Cash App creator was killed in a random act of violence, which was probably not a random act because they have been involved in the technology business together. The tech mogul Elon Musk, in a tweet that drew the condemnation of the district attorney, appeared to pin the blame for the killing on repeat violent offenders and the public safety issues that are taking place in San Francisco. Mo Meany described himself as an entrepreneur on his LinkedIn page. He lists himself as the owner of a tech company called Expand IT Inc. and as a graduate of the University of California, Berkeley. However, a spokesperson for UC Berkeley told NBC News that the university has no record of graduation or attendance for a person named Nima Momeni. So they're saying he didn't even go to college there. Lee had been working as a chief product officer of the cryptocurrency company MobileCoin. He was previously the chief technology officer of Square, now known as Block, a financial technology firm co-founded by the former Twitter head, Jack Dorsey. And Jack Dorsey, of course, I'm doing my videos straight from St. Louis, Missouri, and Jack Dorsey is a byproduct of St. Louis and went to DeBerg High School. It also says that Mr. Lee went on to create Cash App, a well-known money transfer service. Lee also was an investor in Elon Musk's SpaceX venture, as well as other tech companies such as social audio app Clubhouse, according to his LinkedIn page. Now, what is the point of me doing this entire story? Here again, it tells you that many of the crazy things that are taking place throughout our cities and our states, just when you think you are above reproach, listen, jealousy, knowing a friend versus a foe, when can you let your guard down, especially when you become rich and famous as a creator of Cash App. As you can see, he had relationships with other rich and famous people like Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey from Twitter. But the perils of everyday life, everyday struggles, the arguments that human beings have with other human beings. And we have reached a point in this world today that those who we think are untouchable can be touched. And there is such a fine line between life and humanity and inhumanity in today's time that conflict resolution, conflict mediation between these two, uh, the possible use of drugs involved, not being completely in your right mind, stress, anxiety led to Mr. Lee's demise and death. And this also has a pearl that involves not only Momini himself, but also his sister. Was this a planned attack? What is going on in this particular situation where this guy who had a lot to offer, Mr. Lee, who had a lot to offer to the world, Mr. Bob Lee, with all these creations of Cash App and some of these other technological advances that he has been involved in. This is an unfortunate situation, not only for Mr. Lee's family, but for society as a whole. It sounds as if Mr. Lee was trying to be a positive contributor to advancing our technological abilities and usages for the world alike. And he ends up getting randomly stabbed to death at 2:30 in the morning in San Francisco, just like an everyday, any day kind of person. None of us are above mental health issues, the opioid crisis, gun violence, assaults. It can happen to any of us at any time. So utilizing your five senses, paying attention to your gut, keeping your head on a swivel, keeping your circle very small is of utmost importance, because one wrong move can lead to your death and demise, which is what happened to Mr. Lee. This court case is going on as we speak for Mr. Momini, who's been charged with murder. And let's see how this thing plays out. Tell me what you think about the Cash App founder, Bob Lee, who was stabbed to death a little over a year and a half ago, right in downtown San Francisco at 2:30 in the morning. What an unfortunate circumstance for Mr. Lee and his family. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.